I hired a caregiver to take care of my husband, who has been paralyzed for many years. I was worried that the caregiver would treat him badly, so I secretly installed a surveillance camera. I never imagined that I would see on the camera my husband, who has been paralyzed for many years, stand up. He moved quickly. He could run and jump freely. He also interacted intimately with the caregiver. He said, "Just wait a little longer. Let's get her money first. Then we'll sell the house. I'll take you away from here." I was shocked. I completely fell apart. I can't fly at all. I'd like to see where you can fly. 5 years ago, my husband Marcus and I were in a car accident. He saved my life, but he became paralyzed. I blamed myself. I was determined to stand by his side, even if he was disabled, even if he would never be able to stand again. I would stay by his side and face it together. I took care of him myself for 5 years. I quit my job and concentrated on earning money. I took on a lot of part-time jobs. I turned down all social engagements. I didn't spend money unnecessarily. I didn't buy new clothes. I devoted myself to caring for Marcus, but he was still not satisfied. He cried and screamed. He smashed everything in the house that he could. He shouted at me angrily, "I'll get a carer. You can't care for me with all your heart. Sophia, I became paralyzed because of you. Aren't you even a little bit sorry?" He dropped another ashtray. The pieces scattered everywhere. They stuck in my toe. Blood immediately flowed. He saw it, but he just sneered and did nothing. He lay in bed, unable to move. His moods were volatile. I felt I was in the wrong. I shouldn't have gotten angry with him. I silently helped him wipe the dirt off his body. It smelled bad, but I didn't frown. I quickly threw the soiled sheets in the trash. I wasn't sure if he did it on purpose. This is the 3rd time this week he's pooped the bed, and it's only Thursday. I take a deep breath, explain slowly. My monthly salary plus bonuses and performance pay. That's only 10,000 yuan. Your rehabilitation and medical expenses will be 3,000 yuan. The wages of the carer will be 6,000 yuan. How can we live on that? I rub my temples. I've done my best, but Marcus is still not satisfied. He glares at me angrily and spat at me. I felt sick. Marcus saw that I was not going to give in. He pounded on the bed in frustration. "If it wasn't to save you, I wouldn't be lying here in bed. Now you think I'm a burden. I might as well be dead. I've lived like this. I'm worse than an animal, paralyzed. It's all my fault." Marcus saw that his tough tactics were not working and immediately covered his face and cried, "You've ruined my life. You won't even find me a carer. My dear wife, how could you do this to me? What have I done wrong? If I could stand up, I could go out and earn money myself, but I can't stand up. I'm such a useless person, utterly useless. You might as well just kill me." My head was buzzing. I let out a helpless sigh. "I understand. You arrange for a carer. I'll just take on another job. Don't do this again." Marcus wipes away his tears. He smiles. He looks pleased with himself. "If you'd just said yes earlier, it would have been fine. Leave the carer thing to me. I know what I'm doing." Marcus found Emma, the carer, himself on the internet. When Emma came to work for the first time, she had heavy makeup on her face, wearing high heels and a tight skirt. She didn't look like a professional carer at all. I couldn't help but ask, "Have you looked after paralyzed patients before? Do you want me to write down the precautions? If that's convenient, you can report Marcus's condition to me every hour." Emma had an inexplicable hostility towards me. "Just tell me. It's not convenient. I'm a carer. Don't tell me what to do." I glanced at Marcus lying in bed. His eyes kept darting back and forth to Emma. It made me feel uncomfortable. More and more questions came to mind. Why did Marcus need a carer? Who would be a proper carer who wore high heels and a short skirt? I was shocked. When Emma took Marcus out for a walk, I secretly installed a miniature camera in the house. Normally, with a paralyzed patient in the house, installing a surveillance camera is for safety reasons. But as soon as I mentioned installing a surveillance camera, Marcus kept making a fuss. He said I had cost him his legs. And now I want to invade his privacy. He refused to let me install a camera. I thought he had become self-conscious after his disability, so I didn't insist. Now that we have a home care worker, I have no choice but to install a camera, but I didn't expect what I saw on the monitor. Marcus kicked his wheelchair aside. He was mobile. He was walking quickly. I was completely stunned. The voices of Marcus and Emma came from the video. "Marcus, how long are you going to pretend to be paralyzed? If someone hadn't had the idea to pretend to be a caregiver, I wouldn't have been able to see you at all. Don't you know how much I've missed you?" Marcus sighed contentedly. "Say, Emma, don't worry. I've missed you too. We've both been through 5 years. A few more days won't make a difference, right? Just bear with me a little longer. Let's just get her money first. Then we'll sell the house. I'll take you away. I'll buy you a sports car and a diamond ring. Okay, 5 years have passed. 5 whole years. I've worked hard. I've been tortured by feelings of guilt. I've been mentally controlled to the point where I can't sleep at night. And now you're telling me it was all a lie. It turns out that Marcus had an affair with Emma 5 years ago. He pretended to be paralyzed. He lied to me for 5 whole years. I tremble with anger. My chest heaved. My hands and feet went cold. I could hardly stand. Marcus had the nerve to send me a message. Stop by after work and pick up some ginseng. My carer has a hard time taking care of me. I need to build up my strength. Oh, and send me a $1,000 red envelope. Don't ask me what it's for. Just send it to me. I sneered. I wanted to smash my phone. I didn't even know how they got together. My anger and despair reached a boiling point. Instead, my mind became clearer. I wiped away my tears. I applied ice to my red, swollen eyes. I walked slowly home. As soon as I entered the door, Marcus saw that I was not holding anything in my hands. He grabbed the plate on the table and threw it at me. He shouted, "Didn't you see the message? I let you not buy ginseng, which is fine, but you won't even give me one, 000 yuan. Sophia, have you forgotten how my legs were paralyzed? I saved your life. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be like this. How could I possibly ask you for even $1,000? Are you going to give me the money or not?" Emma stood next to him, gently helping him calm down. She said, "Marcus, don't argue with your sister-in-law. Although I also think that your sister-in-law did the wrong thing. She is still the one who makes money in the family. We are only temporarily living here." I stare at them coldly. Suddenly, I realize that I feel like an outsider. Isn't there a saying that goes, "The wife follows the lead of the husband"? They are singing in unison. Anyone who doesn't know would think that it's all my problem. It's really offensive. I calmly look at Marcus. I ask him, "Have you ever lied to me?" Marcus is taken aback. He looks puzzled. Then he shrugs, smiling. He asks, "Lied? How have I lied to you? What have I lied to you about, Sophia? You either give me my money or you can just piss off. I'm sick of seeing you. Don't you get it?" My throat tightens. I ask again, "Tell me the truth now. I won't blame you." I'm not soft-hearted with Marcus. I just don't want to owe him anything. When the accident happened, he almost instinctively leapt from the driver's seat and held me tightly in his arms. He whispered in my ear, "Sophia, don't be afraid. I'll protect you." He was willing to give his life for me, but he had already cheated on me, and he pretended to be paralyzed, lying to me for 5 whole years. Why is human nature so complicated? Since he lied to me and hated me, why did he still want to protect me? I just want an apology from him. Marcus's expression suddenly became a little flustered, but he immediately straightened his back. He used morality to pressure me. "I, Marcus, have made many mistakes in my life, but I swear to you, I have treated you well. Others may not know, but don't you understand? I would give my life for you. For you, I have wasted my life, and now you question me. If you don't want to take care of me, just say so. Don't beat around the bush. Say it." He started crying again, accusing me of being ungrateful, since he is not willing to admit his mistakes. Why should I forgive him? He likes to put on airs, doesn't he? I'll see how long you can put on airs. I suppressed my anger. I raised my hand and slapped him hard. "Is this how you talk to me? Yes, you're no different from an animal. What's wrong? I just don't want to indulge you anymore. Do you have a problem with that?" Marcus immediately flew into a rage. He clenched his fists. "How dare you hit me? You want to die?" I didn't say anything. Another slap. She quickly said, "Oops, honey, I was just teasing you. I read an old wives' tale online. It says that if you slap a paralyzed person 999 times, it will stimulate blood circulation and help them walk again." Marcus and Emma were both taken aback by my sudden change of attitude. Marcus rolled his eyes and put on a nonchalant face. Okay, don't believe in those folk remedies. I've accepted my fate. You go and cook." I stood still. "Let the carer deal with it. I'm here to cure you. I have to give you 990 slaps to help you get the blood flowing." Emma hurriedly waved her hands and said, "Slaps can't cure anything. Don't talk nonsense. I wasn't going to be outdone." Tears welled up in her eyes as she took Marcus' hand and said, "My husband is paralyzed in both legs trying to save me. What's wrong with me trying to help him with some folk remedies? You're just a nurse, so mind your own business. If you want to do it, do it. If not, just leave." Emma heard that I was going to fire her. She didn't say anything else. She rolled her eyes and muttered a few words under her breath. Then she went into the kitchen to cook. I turned to Marcus and asked, Don't you want to recover? You want to stay paralyzed forever? My words suddenly silenced Marcus. He gasped for breath, opened his mouth, but didn't say anything. It was too much effort to hit someone yourself. I took an iron plate out of my bag. Without saying a word, I slammed it against Marcus' face. I hit him with the iron plate dozens of times. Marcus' mouth was bleeding. He shouted, "Sophia, you must have done this on purpose. I can't move my legs. Why did you hit me in the face? Are you getting back at me?" I ignored his shouting. I pulled two 10-centimeter silver needles from my bag. I stuck them directly into his leg. He screamed in pain. "Ah." I pretended to be delighted. "What did you say? You can feel your leg again," when I stuck the needles in. "You felt pain, right? Oh my God. Has your paralysis already gone?" Marcus's forehead was bulging with veins. He stuttered. "It's fine. It's just that my face hurts a bit." I smiled and pulled out 10 more silver needles. Without hesitation, I stuck them into his 10 toenails. With a little force, the nail caps were all lifted off. Immediately, blood gushed out. Marcus's face turned pale with pain. His hands and feet kept shaking. His eyes were red. His face was swollen like a pig's head. His lips were slightly open. No, I don't feel anything. No feeling. How could I let you feel nothing?" I sneered and hit Marcus twice more. When Emma brought out 4 dishes and a soup from the kitchen, I was still sticking needles into Marcus's legs. They were densely packed. There were almost 30 or 40 needles. His white pants were completely red with blood. The skin on his thighs looked like a sieve. I turned around. I heard Emma sobbing in distress. "Sophia, I don't mean to be nosy, but it seems to me that you're torturing Marcus. How can you? You're doing it on purpose." I pressed. "You're doing it on purpose. I'm doing it for his own good. And you're trying to stop me. You just want him to never be able to stand again. What's in your heart?" Emma didn't say another word. Then, Marcus let out another scream, even more piercing than the first. This time, I slowly poured boiling salt water over his thigh. Marcus shouted, "Sophia, you did this on purpose. You have to torture me like this. I really want to fight with you. I will never let you go." Oops. I quickly cupped Marcus's face. Pretending to cry, I said, "Oh my God. Does it hurt? You can feel your legs. Is your paralysis gone?" Marcus looks at me in surprise. I say to Emma, "I've cured Marcus' paralysis. You don't need to come back." Emma's eyes widen. She stammers, "What, you can't cure paralysis with a few injections? You can't be serious." I cross my arms. I glance at Emma and Marcus, who are smiling happily. I can't help but snort. "I'm not joking. You can ask Marcus." Marcus stammered, "No, my paralysis has not improved at all. If Emma hadn't taken care of me, I would have died long ago. If you don't believe me, just wait and see." Emma immediately chimed in. "That's right. My Marcus paralysis is an old problem. How could it be cured so easily?" I laughed and shrugged. "Since it hasn't been cured, then let's keep going." All night long, Marcus kept screaming in pain. His cries and screams sounded to me more beautiful than any music. Emma took Marcus to the bathroom to clean up. I looked at the nursing bed in the middle of the living room. The more I looked at it, the less I liked it. At the time, in order to buy this bed, I saved money and scrimped. I worked part-time every night until dawn. Now that I think about it, I really am a joke. I calmly took out my phone. "Hello, are you a junk collector? I have a nursing bed at home. You can have it for free." The junk collector arrived at my door within 10 minutes. After confirming with me, he happily took the nursing bed away. Before he left, he gave me 50 yuan as a token of his appreciation. Marcus and Emma stayed in the bathroom for more than half an hour. I don't know what they were doing. Marcus came out of the bathroom. At a glance, he noticed that the nursing bed was gone. He immediately shouted, "Where's my bed?" "Sophia, where did you put my bed? Do you want me to sleep on the floor?" "I threw it away." I sneered. Marcus's eyes widened with anger. "Threw it away? You threw away my bed. Where am I going to sleep? Do you have a problem? You're just trying to make things difficult for me. You've gone too far. How could you do this to me?" I stared at him coldly. "You lie in bed every day. Of course you're not going to get better. From today onwards, you will sleep in a wheelchair. When you can stand up again, you will be allowed to sleep in a bed." "Sophia, I'm paralyzed because of you. You've been so mean to me. Don't you feel guilty?" Marcus listened to me. His face turned red. His eyes widened. He yelled at me, "You've made me like this. Now you won't even let me sleep in a bed." I sneered. "I said I won't let you. What are you going to do about it?" Emma stood behind Marcus, trying to say something on his behalf, but after I glared at her, she had to shut up. That night, I turned on the surveillance camera in Emma's room. I saw Marcus hugging her. The two of them snuggled up close. Marcus kept making little gestures from time to time, making Emma squirm like a snake. It made me sick to watch. I sold the nursing bed, just to force them to sleep in the same bed. You can't keep a gun in your pocket forever without it going off. Something's bound to happen. I'm betting on something going wrong. Maybe it's because Marcus has been playing the invalid for so long. He's been pent up for so long. Or maybe it's because I casually mentioned to Emma that Marcus has hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank. In any case, Emma is acting really positively. She hasn't let me down yet. Before leaving work, I turned on the surveillance camera as usual. Emma is still snuggled in Marcus's arms like she has no bones. She nibbled on Marcus' ear. In a sweet voice, she said, "Marcus, I'm pregnant." Marcus pushed Emma away. His tongue was tied. "What do you mean? How can you be pregnant? That's impossible. You can't be serious." "Emma, this is a special situation. What am I supposed to do?" Emma looked at Marcus disapprovingly. She said, "Don't you want me to have the baby? Didn't we agree you'll get rid of her and make me happy? Are you lying to me?" Marcus quickly shakes his head to deny it. "Have a baby, have a baby, have a baby, Emma. Don't worry. I will find the right time when that yellow-faced woman is not looking. I will transfer all our assets to our names. She is no match for me. Marcus and I did not have joint assets during our marriage. I had already spent all the money in various ways, but Marcus is actually not poor, because I borrowed $500,000 in high interest in his name. I deliberately hid the bank card with the $500,000 under Emma's bed. After Marcus fell asleep, I looked for the card in the house in front of her. While looking, I muttered to myself, where did Marcus put the card with the $500,000? Why can't I find it? If someone with bad intentions finds it, it'll be trouble. The card's PIN is Marcus's birthday. It's easy to guess. Oh dear, this is so annoying. What should I do? Emma glanced at me out of the corner of her eye. She immediately grabbed the broom. Pretending to clean, she actually searched the house for the card. I grunted. I turned around and left. I made room for Emma. Emma quickly found Marcus's card. Her standard of living quickly exceeded her financial means. Emma likes to buy big gold bracelets, big gold chains, designer handbags, and luxury diamond rings. She only buys the expensive ones, no matter if they fit or not. She also doesn't tell Marcus about the credit card. She just spends money on luxury goods. Every day she dresses up beautifully. She doesn't even bother to please Marcus. Marcus can tell that something is wrong with Emma, but every time he asks her, she would give various excuses. Marcus pretended to be paralyzed, unable to go out, so he couldn't find out what Emma was really doing. The 500,000 yuan. Emma spent it all in less than a week. From the surveillance footage, she often asked Marcus for gifts, and they were all expensive. Marcus's savings quickly ran out, but Emma's demands kept growing. She urged Marcus to divorce me quickly, so they could split their share of the property. But Marcus has no say in the matter. I could see that he was trying to say something, but couldn't find the words, so I understood what he meant. He was sweet to Emma on the surface, but he kept on scolding me. He even said he wanted a divorce. But the truth is that he has been staying at home for so many years. He no longer has the courage or ability to face society. He never wanted a divorce. He was cheating on both sides. Emma is not stupid. She has her eye on the house we live in. She said bluntly, "Just sell the house and get it over with. My belly is getting bigger and bigger. You'll have to divorce me sooner or later. Just tell her the truth before she finds out you're faking your paralysis. And sell the house in secret. We'll take the money and go away and raise our child together. Wouldn't that be nice?" Marcus stammered. He couldn't get a word out, and he looked so miserable. I couldn't help laughing out loud. I had bought the house before marriage with the full payment. It was registered under my name. How could he sell it? Marcus explained helplessly, but Emma just wouldn't believe it. She was already pregnant with Marcus' child. How could she get nothing in return? How could I let Marcus and Emma break up over money? I would definitely help them. I'm not a kind person. Since they've been playing me for a fool, I'll make them pay. I called my boyfriend, Ryan. A few seconds later, Ryan's voice came through the phone. "What's up, baby? Why did you suddenly feel like calling me?" His voice was deep and magnetic. If it weren't for Marcus, I might have fallen hopelessly in love with him too. I told him everything that had happened. He laughed and said, "I'll handle this." Geez. A chill ran down my spine. Goosebumps rose all over my body. Ryan was no human being. She was one of those ruthless people. I hoped that he would make Marcus and Emma suffer. That was what they deserved for cheating on me. Within 2 days, Ryan messaged me. He said disdainfully, "Sophia, You've been cheated on by someone like this for 5 years. You're too kind. Now you find out what they did behind your back. Don't worry. I'll help you get revenge." Then he sent a video. In the video, Emma's stomach had obviously become smaller. She had chosen to have an abortion. She was sitting in Ryan's Bentley Continental, leaning lightly on his shoulder, coyly holding his hand. "Ryan, you're so good to me. You let me drive such an expensive car. I'm really touched. I trust you completely now, and I gave up a child for you. You will definitely take me to a good life, right? How much are you going to invest? Can I work with you? I promise to do whatever you say. I will do whatever you tell me. I will never say a word. Please let me join your investment." Ryan nodded a little uncomfortably. "Investment is fine, but you need an investment fund. At least 500,000. Ryan took advantage of Emma's greed. He slowly led her into a dilemma. I observed from the surveillance camera. Emma had a big fight with Marcus as soon as she arrived home. She cried and shouted. She insisted that Marcus help her get a loan in his name. She argued convincingly. "I found a surefire investment. Just give me 500,000. I'll pay you back $1 million. In fact, she had already aborted the baby, but she hid it from Marcus and used the unborn child to blackmail him. "Marcus, I know you like Sophia to take care of you. You don't even want to divorce Sophia. But I don't care about that. I just want the money. You'd better hurry up and give me the 500,000. Otherwise, I'll tell her about us and about your pretending to be paralyzed. I'll tell her everything." Marcus was desperate. In the middle of the night, he secretly took all of Emma's documents and borrowed 500,000 in high-interest loans in her name. I saw this on the security camera. It was really hard for me. I almost threw up. What a perfect match. A perfect match. Although the 500,000 was a high-interest loan that Marcus borrowed in Emma's name. Emma didn't know anything about it. Marcus took the opportunity to tell her what he was thinking. "Emma, I can give you 500,000, but you have to let me participate in this investment project with you. Didn't you say that this project is a sure profit? We'll split the profits 50/50. What do you say? It's a deal. If you don't give me a share, I won't give you a penny." Emma slammed her hand on the table and shouted, "What do you mean I'm the one who should get the money? How dare you haggle with me? Are you shameless?" Marcus was indignant. He said with a straight face, "How am I shameless? This is my money. I can spend it as I please. Why should you care? I'm investing with you anyway. When I'm rich, I won't have to look at Sophia's face anymore." The two of them, who were originally in love, almost broke up over money, but in the end, they reached an agreement. Marcus saw that the investment project was making 10,000 yuan a day. He felt that he didn't need to rely on me. He could make money just by lying at home. He was eager to divorce me. He was afraid that I would take away his interests. He walked and jumped in front of me. Every word pierced my heart like a knife. "Sophia, you don't know yet. In fact, I'm not paralyzed at all. I've been lying to you from beginning to end. Don't ask me why I lied to you, because in my eyes, you're just a dog that only knows how to wag its tail. You're only worthy of taking care of me and making money for me to spend. Understand," he said with a smug look on his face. "I've been lying to you for 5 years. During these 5 years, you worked hard to earn money, but I spent all the money you gave me on eating and drinking. I went to bars. I lived a life where no one had to work and I was taken care of. You said, how can I not be unhappy? Sophia, to be honest, I think you're so stupid it hurts. Do you know why I instinctively protected you in my arms when I had the accident? Because I knew I wasn't going to die. I wanted you to live in guilt. I wanted you to serve me for the rest of your life." He finally admitted that he wasn't actually paralyzed, but he didn't apologize to me. He was quite proud of what he had done. It was really disgusting. It was shameless. I stared at Marcus coldly, furious. I really wanted to rush up to him and give him a good scolding. Marcus saw that I was silent. He thought I didn't want a divorce. He sighed. Angrily, he said, "No way, even now you still love me. How can you be so stupid? I've treated you like this. Am I really that attractive? Forget it. If you really love me that much, considering that you've taken care of me day and night for all these years, you can kneel down and beg me now. I'll reluctantly not divorce you. Reluctantly not divorce me." He was daydreaming. I raised my hand and slapped him. "Marcus, you're so disgusting. People like you simply don't deserve wealth. You deserve to be poor and miserable for the rest of your life. You are a hopeless scumbag." But I didn't want to waste any more time on Marcus. I signed the divorce papers without hesitation. I looked at him with contempt. My tone was full of disdain and disgust. "Marcus, don't come crying to me later." Ryan had planned to close the net in a few days, but Marcus and Emma were too greedy. They borrowed another million in high-interest loans. They said they would become millionaires with the money in 5 days. Ryan was very happy and called me. Those two kept sending me money. What could I do? Sigh. I had no choice. I had to take all the money they sent. I could imagine Ryan's smug and annoying expression. Marcus even divorced me gleefully. He thought he was going to get rich, but he was digging his own grave. Ryan laughed twice. He said, "Sophia, how much do you want? I'll give you a share. This is going to be a very easy deal. If you ever get another client like this, you must introduce them to me. There aren't that many idiots out there. But I can't wait to see Marcus and Emma's faces when they get the bill." I asked, "When will you close the deal? It feels like it's about time." Ryan said, "Give it a couple of days. I'll see how much more they can borrow. I'll try to empty their wallets, leave them with nothing. Don't worry, honey. When we close the net, even if they lose every last penny, it won't be my fault. Investing is risky. They were careless. Who are they to blame? I understand." Ryan said this to reassure me, to make me feel less guilty. I don't feel guilty at all. Those two deserve to lose their money. What did I do wrong? I didn't break any laws. Besides, would that little amount of money bring back 5 years of my life? Absolutely not. Marcus and Emma's investment project eventually went wrong. They lost all their money, every last penny. Ryan was so happy that he couldn't stop spinning around. He even sent me a live video feed of the situation. Marcus completely lost his temper. He grabbed Emma by the collar. He squeezed her neck and demanded that she pay him back. He kept shouting, "You said this investment was a sure thing. How dare you lie to me? Do you want to die? Don't you know I can get you?" He shouted angrily. "This is all your fault. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have divorced Sophia. She's still alive and well. You've ruined me. You've gone too far. How could you do this to me?" Emma had no idea what was going on. She wasn't going to be outdone, and pointed her finger at Marcus's nose. "You're the one who's unlucky. I was making a good living, but as soon as you got involved, I lost money. You're definitely to blame. You've blocked my luck." Marcus rushed over, grabbed Emma by the neck and pushed her against the wall. He kept slapping her. He kept shouting at her. "It's obviously your fault. Give me back my money. You're dishonest." Marcus and Emma had a big fight, but they soon made up. They turned their anger on Ryan. Marcus and Emma took Ryan to court together, but Ryan's financial records were clear. No problems were found, and he had invested the money in the project. It was just the project that went wrong, because Ryan had real contracts and records of the transactions. Marcus and Emma had invested of their own free will, so it wasn't considered fraud. Ryan got off lightly. No trouble at all. Marcus and Emma owed a total of $2 million in high-interest loans, of which Marcus had $1 million in his name, and Emma had $1 million in her name. As to why they owed so much, both knew exactly why. I heard they were being chased by loan sharks, but I didn't expect it to be such a coincidence. On my way home from work, I saw them being beaten up for real. 2 burly thugs grabbed Marcus by the collar, punch after punch to his face. Angrily, he said, "Are you going to pay us back or not? You now owe our company $3 million with interest. If you don't pay today, you know what will happen." Marcus was beaten and his face was covered in bruises. He couldn't stop crying. He struggled desperately, but he couldn't get away from the thugs. He could only cry in pain. Emma saw the thugs surround Marcus. She rolled her eyes. Then she turned and ran. She had only taken 2 steps when the thugs grabbed her by the neck and threw her to the ground. Emma let out a scream. I watched with cold eyes. I laughed in contempt. They had only themselves to blame. It had nothing to do with me. They were lucky not to have been killed. I was about to leave when Marcus suddenly rushed out and stopped me. He fell to his knees. He kept on bowing to me. Tears welled up in his eyes. "My wife. Sophia, my baby, look at me, just look at me." He grabbed my pant leg. He was crying his heart out. "Sophia, I admit that I was wrong to lie to you before, but it wasn't my intention. Emma forced me to do it. She said if I didn't pretend to be paralyzed and lie to you, she would jump off a building. I had no choice. I know I was wrong. Can you pay back my debt for me? I don't want to be beaten up by them. I'll take care of you from now on. Please give me a chance." Emma knelt on the floor. She pushed Marcus away, who was kneeling in front of me. She cried and said to me, "Sophia, don't believe what he says. I didn't force him. He wanted to lie to you himself. I know nothing about it. Please, help me pay back my debt. I'll work like a dog for you." I rolled my eyes coldly. "What are you? You don't deserve for me to pay your debt." I stared at them. I said coldly, "Marcus, in fact, I discovered long ago that you were faking paralysis. I also know about your affair with Emma. I gave you a chance, but you refused to admit it. What else could I do? I had to stick a needle in your leg, to rub salt in the wound, to teach you a lesson. But I don't think that's enough. Oh, by the way, I don't think I ever told you. Ryan is my boyfriend. Right, what do you think? How stupid can you get? You've only yourselves to blame. Don't blame anyone else. Marcus and Emma looked at each other. They finally understood that I had orchestrated the whole thing. They both screamed. They glared at me with anger. They yelled at me like crazy. They even tried to jump on me and hit me. But they weren't mad enough yet. They were grabbed back by the Lone Shark's thugs. Another round of beatings. This is probably what you call getting what you deserve. Marcus's leg was broken. He will be paralyzed for the rest of his life. Emma was beaten into a stupor. She even forgot her own name. They got what they wanted. They can be together for the rest of their lives. Isn't this a form of running away together?